Hello and welcome to Mad Cow Gaming.
It's me.
So what are we doing today, Jimbo?
Well, we out in the wild, man. We're doing some wild cow stuff.
So, what he means is we are doing yet another video with the game store. This time we are doing a sit-down interview and a game store tour with
Brian from Gamemasters realm.
We are very much looking forward to it. We just wanted to give you that quick little intro, and we'll see you when we get things going on the inside. And here we are, everybody. We are on the outside of the game store. Make sure you get a nice little shot of all the fun things he has on the outside of his windows. All right, and we are going to go ahead and walk on over here. We're going to get ready to go on in, and yeah, let's get this party started, baby. All right, and here we are with the great, the wonderful, the all-knowing Brian.
I wouldn't put me on a pedestal like that, but I appreciate it. Welcome back, guys.
You made the pedestal.
Welcome back, guys.
Thank you. Alright, so how this is going to work is we each got 5 questions apiece.
Okay.
He's going to start, I'm going to go, and then till we're done with the questions. And I should note that I wanted to keep this as professional as possible to have the utmost courtesy to you. I made sure these were typed in the most professional manner we could. Comic Sans.
Okay, perfect.
Alright, Jimmy, you go ahead first.
All right. I just wanted to ask, how did you first get into gaming? What is your first memorable experience?
Oh, I think it was my first exposure to gaming was I was a kid. My parents went to a bowling alley, and at the bowling alley they had a Pac-Man machine and a cocktail cabinet, which is like a sit-down with monitors in the tabletop itself underneath, and they had asteroids. And I didn't even want anything to do with Pac-Man. I just wanted to play asteroids nonstop. It was fantastic. Yeah.
So you're not a Pac-Man guy at all?
No, I'm not really a big Pac-Man guy.
Now, we're talking Miss Pac-Man.
Well,
Maybe.
she's hot.
She's hot. Alright. So that kind of reminds me, okay, are you familiar with the Bellevue area at all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, there was this, when I used to live out there a long-ass time ago, there was this restaurant there called Luigi's. You ever heard of them?
I think so, yeah.
They had arcades in there, too, and there was a Street Fighter 2 cabinet.
Ooh, I love that.
Oh, well, unless you were a bigger kid and had a lot of money, you're never getting your turn. But that was like one of my first exposures to arcades in somewhere you wouldn't expect to traditionally find one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Speaking of arcades, I remember one time I went to Great Southern Shopping Center down by my house, and they have this map, and on the map it says arcade this way. I'm like, all right, let me get some quarters. I'm gonna go hang out in the arcade. No, by arcade they just meant like an open area where you can meet and hang out and talk.
And series of small stores and boutiques.
Yeah. I was like, that's not what I was thinking of. I was so let down.
Wait, not a single game at all?
No.
Why'd they call it an arcade?
Because it's another meaning of the word.
In ancient Rome, Rome, they built a whole colonnade. It was 3 stories tall, and it was called the arcade. And that just, they were the first ones to do it, and everything afterwards has always been called an arcade.
I did not know that. I learned something today. All right. So, my first question: what is your favorite part about the hobby from the perspective of a game owner versus, from the perspective of a gamer versus being a store owner?
Perspective of gaming. Well, as a gamer, like, there's been lots of advances and gaming has progressed throughout time, but at the same time, every time we gain something, we lose something else.
Sure.
And because gaming has become so big now, it's become big money, and big money doesn't like to take risks. So what they do is they find out what people really want, and they make more of that. So we no longer have as much variety as we had in gaming, except from the Japanese market. We have more killing people with guns, sports ball, and games where you're a criminal. And that's not a path that I enjoy at all. So
that's fair.
So I find myself looking more backwards at older titles and exploring the libraries of of older systems to try out the games that like I never had a chance to. Like I had my primary ones that I wanted to play: Might and Magic for the Genesis, Gunstar Heroes, Star Control. These were all fantastic games that I enjoyed playing back in the day. But there's a whole bunch of other ones that I missed out on because you don't have so much money. You can't buy every game,
especially when you're younger.
Yeah, but as time goes on, the product becomes devalued to a certain extent. A lot of the titles, so everyone's always looking at those high-end pieces for their collection, or these games are highly rated. But there's so many sleeper hits out there, like fantastic games with lots of innovation and gameplay, and so yeah. And you go back, you see things that you don't see anymore. I mean, there's games like Contra. We don't see too much Contra-esque games anymore. Castlevania, we do see some Metroidvanias and some Castlevanias that utilize the side-scrolling, but there's a big push towards 3D, which requires infinitely more resources and time.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I like 2D games. From a business owner standpoint, I'm all about variety, and more and more people are only interested in these mainstream games of killing people with guns as a soldier, killing people with guns as a criminal or a sports ball, and there's not as much variety out there, and that's because the entire marketing sphere is geared towards marketing, promoting these things is what you need to do. And I mean, what kid doesn't want to run around with a toy gun,
Sure.
Yeah, so I get it, but I also think that we lose something because there's a whole bunch of ideas out there, but we find those in the retro stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's why I love retro gaming. Pull up my Sega Genesis and like play 4 or 5 games. Pull up my Nintendo, play like 4 or 5 games that I've always looked at. Like, I wonder what that's like. A lot of fun.
I feel like that has a lot to do with, because with the modern market, games obviously they cost more and more to make nowadays.
Yes.
Because like, let's use RPGs as an example. That's my favorite genre. If we go back to the, say, Super Nintendo, you are going to find seemingly endless amounts of RPGs made by dozens of different companies,
right,
because they didn't cost as much, there wasn't as much risk there, you didn't need as much people to make the game. And so as to where companies nowadays tend to be safer with their games they make, I do understand to a certain degree, because the money they have to output, the jobs they have to supply for their employees, so I get it, but it does suck.
Well, the push for higher graphics, more powerful machines, it's an adult need. Back in that day, not only was the technology not at the point yet, but gaming was for children. Thing is, those children that played Nintendo and Super Nintendo grew up, became adults, and their tastes changed. They wanted to have a game about The Godfather. They want to have a game about Scarface, or they wanted to have a horror genre. Stuff that's not appropriate for children, any of those things. So the market is primarily mature now, whereas like back in the day, it was for kids. Nintendo reigns supreme. Nintendo fans are still big children. Yeah. And like when people jump to like when they're raised on like the PlayStation, those kids that started with the PlayStation 1s and 2s, especially into 3s and 4s, they're mostly just want to run around and play the same game for the rest of their life.
That's what it feels like sometimes.
And then they're just marketed to it. So, and the kids, they want to play these mature rated games too.
Sure.
But the people, the technology increases, but the people, the maturity of the people doesn't change. So to them, all video games are for kids. So yeah, you want Grand Theft Auto? Sure, 8-year-old kid. Sure, 6-year-old kid. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's a game. But they don't understand like what kind of content is in those games. And a lot of people they always want to indoctrinate their children. Oh, your son's 4 years old. He's like, yeah, he just watched Chucky with me last night. Did you love it? And the kid's like, yeah, Dad. He obviously hasn't slept. There's no more dolls. There's no more action figures.
No.
So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, people do that.
All right. Well, on that same kind of topic, what is a game that you think is underrated, that you really enjoy playing, and why do you think more people should play it? And then on the flip side is, what is a game that you think is really overrated?
Okay. Well, Well, I have a lot of favorites, okay? But there's a lot of underrated games for every system. The thing
Sure.
is, that's a more difficult question because the truth is you can't judge all games by today's standards. You have to judge them within the era.
Yeah.
So, like, there's great games on the original Nintendo that no one's ever... We'll do that one.
Okay.
Okay, just as an example, rather than going through the entire
Yeah,
list.
for sure.
Yeah, that's
For
fine.
Nintendo, there is a game called Deadly Towers. It's by Broderbund Software. Okay.
Okay.
One of my favorite games. I got it in the bargain bin at a Kmart back when they were still selling games, and I got it for $20. And I took it home, and I'm like, "This looks like an RPG. I need to know RPG." I was very poor at the time, young, struggling, you know. So I took it home. I played. It's fantastic. It's kind of like a generic Legend of Zelda, like the original one.
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
you go into rooms, there's monsters in the rooms, you fight them, you go through. There's this huge castle, okay, the Deadly Towers, and you go through it, and you get stronger and stronger. It's more difficult than Zelda. It's a lot more difficult than Zelda, but you go through. It plays just like that, but the thing is there's the warp zone within each area, and when you go into a warp zone, all the monsters are twice as strong, and they move twice as fast. But you don't move twice as fast.
No.
You move the same speed. So now you've got to fight these things at like hyper speed, and that's where all the best treasure and most powerful equipment is. And slowly but surely you go through the entire thing. Another one is for Nintendo is the Guardian Legend. Guardian Legend for Nintendo again plays like the original Zelda if you mix it with Gradius. Okay. So you're actually like this robot that can transform into a spaceship, a fighter jet, okay, and fly around. You fly between levels and you fight a boss, okay? You get to the space station, you transform back into your humanoid form, right? And you explore this ancient asteroid, I think it is, that was the last remaining place for this race fleeing from these monsters. The monsters caught up with them, killed all the people that were there, I guess. And you go through, it's just like Legend of Zelda with different rooms and stuff like that. But because you're a robot girl, okay, you find power-ups. So it's kind of like Mega Man or Gradius. Now you walk around, you're shooting your gun, and then you've got your special ability powers and stuff like that, lightning, missiles. There's all these other options you can put on, but you gain them slowly as you advance through the game, and so you use these in these rooms, okay, and then when you get to the airlock to get to the next place, you have to transform back into a ship. So now you're flying between the parts of the space station or whatever it is, and you have the same weapons, except now they're mounted on your spaceship. And you find it's really, 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 really good game.
Okay.
Fantastic. Can't say enough good things about that.
I've heard of Deadly Towers, just not the second
Yeah.
one.
And
check
then
that one out.
underrated games.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Do you want to stick with the Nintendo, or do you want to move to a different console?
Well, no, I'll jump to something else because there's a lot of underrated games out there, but I usually only play games I want to play. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
fair.
I'm not a big one for like trying out every game that comes out. There's a bunch of great franchises out there. Assassin's Creed, never played any of them. God of War, looks great. I'd love to play it one day, just haven't. And they build onto their story and their legacy. I think overrated, probably Call of Duty.
I can see that.
I played it a couple times. The only fun aspect of Call of Duty is like the zombies mode for me, where I can work together with a friend and not necessarily just run around mindlessly kill people. And it's usually zombies, so I'm all right. Only good zombies are dead zombies.
That's right.
Like it's offensive they keep getting up after they're dead. You know, so put them down, and you work together, and it ramps up and slowly builds up the pressure as more and more, and that's a lot of fun. But I mean, running around with a gun, like the newest Call of Duty came out, okay? And it's probably the very best one. And the reason is because, what you do is you run around with a gun until you die, okay? And then you come back to life and you do it again. And again. And again. And again. And again. And hey guys, I'm signing off. Tomorrow we're going to do the same thing again. And again.
I see you're using sarcasm.
Yes.
The original ones were okay. They had good stories, and you could do a good single player mode.
Yeah.
There were more reenactment, But then, yeah, slowly but surely, they just started getting away from
I just
even.
wish people would get bored of it. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
you know what people really used to like to play back in the day? They really, really enjoyed playing Twisted Metal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Vehicular combat games, awesome, okay? That was during the PlayStation 1 era. Then they released Twisted Metal Black for PlayStation 2.
I remember
I think
that.
it killed the franchise, okay? And then they brought it back for PS3 with the new Twisted Metal reboot, and that was really good.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't as good as the OG, but it was okay.
Yeah, see, they get away from a lot of stuff. But people used to play that all the time. People used to play the Army Men games, which were really cool. And it's for children, you know. We don't want to actually physically represent in graphic manner killing people, but if they're little plastic toy soldiers, we can set them on fire.
You made me think of something. So, when you were talking about Twisted Metal, for the Super Nintendo, do you remember a game called Battle Cars?
Super Nintendo Battle Cars?
Yes.
Combat Cars?
I believe it's called Battle Cars. It's structured, you race in a way where it looks like F-Zero with the whole Mode 7 thing.
Okay.
But then you can shoot things like mines and balls and missiles off your car.
That sounds fun.
You've never heard of Battle Cars?
No.
Oh man, I gotta show that to you.
No, I haven't.
It's a good game. Think Twisted Metal, but more primitive for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'd play that.
Alright, so you have lots of items other than video games. Was that always the plan, to combine video games with other related hobbies?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Yeah, when I opened my store, I envisioned having the Gamemasters realm. It's like half community center, half museum, and half game store. So that's 3 halves. Okay, that's more than one whole. But the idea was to have a place where my friends and people in the community could come and play Dungeons & Dragons, board games. They could socialize in a fun, safe manner, because there's more to gaming than staring at a screen and wiggling your thumbs.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of people know that. So having a dedicated tabletop area was very important to me. I wanted to host large communities of having fun people in here, laughing, cutting up, being goofy, and socializing in a fun, safe manner. And then I wanted to do video games, but I also love toys. I'm not an expert at toys, but I do like toys. And I like Japanese anime, and I like science, and I like philosophy. So I try to combine all those aspects into one area. I tried doing music CDs for a while, but the only thing people would ever bring me was like buckets and buckets of like rap and country CDs.
Christmas.
I'm like, I don't know.
Christmas. That's what I find. When I'm out looking for
and
stuff.
gospel CDs.
Yes.
Because they're just trying to trade in anything
Yeah.
that they can get some money for. So I had to stop doing that pretty soon. I had to stop doing that. But the heart of the store is the tabletop area where my friends come in, hang out, socialize. People that come by a couple times a week because they enjoy the community and they enjoy the experience, and it's fun. I mean, you can sit there at any time of the day or night and play with your video game system. It's there for your convenience. But you have to come by like once a week to get together with friends to play Dungeons & Dragons. And they look forward to it. So they end up sticking around for years.
Well, has gaming taught you any real-life skills or lessons?
Has gaming taught me any real-life skills or lessons? I don't think they've taught me any skills. Yeah. I have developed, like, I've been playing Oblivion on my 360, the original one, and I think I'm getting like carpal tunnel or something in my thumb. It's because you have to do the speech thing, and I got really good. And so I have a little trouble with my thumb right now, so I gotta lay off of that. Especially the speech minigame, where you have to try and get someone to like you. It's so dumb. You have to intimidate. You have to intimidate, joke. I don't know. It's like 4 things. It's kind of stupid saying things to people like that. Like, why would I just intimidate somebody? Like, just in a conversation. Is that normal? Coerce them? I'm going to coerce them? But hey, I mean, it's a fun little mini game they tried. Yeah. But other skills? No. I can't really think of anything.
What about lessons?
Lessons? Yeah. Less is more. You know, you don't necessarily have to like run out to get the newest game. You can explore the backlog. A lot of people miss the forest for the trees. You know, they're looking for this one thing. Like, people come in all the time and they'll be like, I'm looking for this. I'm like, oh, I don't have that. You know, and they'll be like, oh, okay, and they leave. They don't look around. If they looked around, they'd find something else that would be almost as interesting.
That's fair.
Yeah, they just don't know what they want. Like, when you're online and you're shopping, okay, you have something in your mind, you type in the search, it's going to show you just about that. But when you walk into my store looking for it, like, wow, what's that? Oh, and it exposes you to a lot of other things you didn't even know existed.
Like to broaden your horizon.
Yeah, because a search engine is only going to show you exactly what you're looking for, so you'll never see anything other than what you're looking for.
Yes.
Whereas when you walk into a store and you look around, you're like, wow, what's this? I don't even know about this. When did this come out? Some guy told me he didn't even know that they made Madden for the for video game systems.
Madden?
Yeah, listen, okay, this guy must have lived in a cave.
Yeah.
It's somewhere for the last 20 years.
He hates football, and he knows about
yeah.
Madden. I mean, that's kind of similar to how I discovered Ni no Kuni. You know what Ni no Kuni is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful freaking game. I was on Amazon. I knew I wanted an RPG, but I didn't know what I want, so I just literally typed in unique RPG, and then I ended up coming across Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. Loved the sequel was better, but that's how I came across Ni no Kuni, so yeah, you are right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I learned that lesson early because I was always poor as when I was young. So I'd have like a $20 budget every paycheck, and I'd go out and I'd buy a game. And it looked interesting. I'd try it out. There's nothing wrong with trying it out. I found a lot of great gems. A lot of great gems in the bargain bin that are more well regarded today than they were back then. Yeah, that Deadly Towers I was telling you about, the Guardian Legend. They were all bargain bin games at like Toys R Us or Kmart.
Enslaved Odyssey to the West for the PS3 and 360.
Oh, yeah, Enslaved Odyssey to the West is actually a retelling of the Dragon Ball Z Sayuki Journey to the West parable from...
oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, from Asia. It's one of the most popular stories. Like, well, I'm not going to go into detail because Dragon Ball Z tells the story of the young monkey boy that is the Monkey King. I mean, he even rides around in a Nimbus cloud and has a power pole. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's a fantastic story, and it's been retold many, many times.
All right. Wait, is it your turn?
I know it's yours.
Your turn. Okay. Since you're the only employee here, what are some of the pros and cons of that?
Well, the pros is that things get done right the way I want them to be. I'm never looking for something because I know exactly where it's at. And standards are always high. The downside is that there's a lot of menial work. Like, I have a guy that comes in and he sweeps and mops the store once a week. And because I can do it, it takes me 3 hours. It takes him an hour and a half. I do a much better job, but 3 hours of my life doing that when I could be processing games, filing discs, going through paperwork, working on systems, is stuff that only I can do, and anyone can do that. So I give him some money to come in and do that.
Well, that's very nice.
So yeah, there's the pros or cons.
Yeah, it comes down to how much do you value your own time. Like, is it worth me doing this for 3 hours or me paying somebody a little bit to do it in an hour and a half while I have that 3 hours to do something else?
Well, the rest of the time I do that. I'll get some young kids in sometimes, some teenage kids, and they'll be like, I want some snacks, or, oh man, I wish I could, get this game. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you take these discs and file them alphabetically? That usually doesn't work out very well. But hey, I don't have to do it.
Right.
And, or like, here, help me come grab some stuff from upstairs and we'll bring it down. Go do a little bit of this or go do that. Go wipe down the tables. I'll get you a free drink or something like that. So it gives them something to do. Thing is, then they start coming in all the time.
Expecting it.
Yeah. Can I do some work for you? Not today.
I actually have nothing to do right now.
But yeah, then I'll have some older friends that'll give me help with other stuff, like bringing down some extra chairs for having a big event or something like that. But yeah.
Okay. Number 4 for you, right?
I believe so. Yep.
Okay.
So how do you differentiate yourself and your business from competitors in the same kind of industry?
Well, first of all, this is a lot of... Okay, so there's a big chain stores. They only want to sell you the newest thing, and they're trying to get away from physical media because they're the nightmare of big corporations that you actually own or possess a piece of software. You might let your friends play with it without them getting paid. You might sell it to someone getting paid yourself for their product, what they consider to be theirs. You could lend it to someone. You know, I mean, there are all kinds of liabilities. There's no incentive for them to give you real product anymore. So starting with the PlayStation 3 and 360 coming forward, all the games are delivered to you incomplete. You have to download, install something. You have to get a patch. The game's incomplete. They're going to sell you a bunch of other additional software. Whereas back PlayStation 2 and before, everyone got the same game. Doesn't matter how rich you were. And you gained additional things in it from achieving things within the game, like completing the game, doing a level, finding a secret area, unlock new characters, new weapons, maybe even new areas to explore. And then they put that kind of content into that game before they even launched it. And they did a lot of play testing. They don't use as many play testers anymore because now they'll just fix it on the back end with a patch. And now you have to buy the additional content. It's not, you don't earn it or achieve it. So that's an issue to me. What was your original question again?
How do you differentiate yourself from competitors?
Well, a lot of other game stores, they just deal in video games, and it's usually someone that's very knowledgeable about Nintendo, and that's what they're selling. They're buying and selling products. Here at the Gamemasters realm, I do that too, but I'm more of a community center where I want to encourage people like, hey, you know what, look around, see what else is here to offer. Look at the people playing games over there. If you're interested in doing some tabletop games and making friends, you know, and have maybe a social life that's outside of a bar, this might be fun for you. So it's mostly it's what's called a gaming den, where people go and they play Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of places do Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. I had to ban that from my store a few years back. I had a real problem with, people were stealing from each other.
Aww.
Yeah, people weren't taking showers, wearing clean clothes, or using deodorant. And the same people would win all the time because it's pay to win. It's a consumerist product, cardboard, and they keep buying it and buying it. It becomes intellectually addictive.
Sure.
And then you win by paying more for your stuff than the other guy. So the same people would win all the time, and it was really frustrating. Yeah, I had to get rid of that. But we do tabletop games, board games. I don't charge people to play as long as they're respectful and courteous and follow the rules. Because I don't want any, no bullies or any, no racists, none of that stuff. I don't want none of that in my store. It's supposed to be a safe place where people come hang out. And then I also love toys, so I put toys and board games and card games. So it's more of an experience to hang out, which has that option. But also, I'm knowledgeable on lots of things, in the broader tapestry of gaming. I'm not just about Nintendo. In fact, my tastes in gaming are very obscure. So
obscure.
Yeah. So I've never played Call of Duty. I played Zombies once or twice with a friend. I've never played Madden. I've never played Mario. I've never played Pokemon.
Really? You've never...
I know. How can I be a gamer? I know.
Pokemon I can understand, but Mario? Yeah. Really?
No, I mean, I'm 54 years old. That was always like a children's game. I wanted to play Asteroids, remember?
That's true. Asteroids and no Pac-Man.
That's just me, okay? Like other people play, I recommend it to people all the time. Sure. It's a great game, especially for children to play. But several generations have grown up playing that game. They still play it. When a new one comes out, they go out and get it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen, it's better than killing people with guns nonstop. That's way better. So God bless the Nintendo fans. But yeah, I've never played Grand Theft Auto. Never wanted to. Never played a baseball game. Don't get me wrong. I used to play softball as a kid. I'll play football. I love playing the games, but I'm not going to do that when I could be flying a spaceship hunting down space pirates or
Right.
fighting robots or, you know, slaying dragons. Like, I mean, I can go out and do that. I wouldn't mind, you know? But, yeah, my tastes are a little eclectic. But, yeah, this store is more of a community center that than it is a store. Like, some people come in and they look around, they're like, geez, you've got that sword mounted to the wall. There's that dragon's head mounted to the wall over in that gaming area with the tables. How much is that? I'm like, oh no, man, that's not for sale. It's like, well, is this a store? You're supposed to sell things. They get angry. I actually got a lot of bad reviews online through Yelp or whatever. Like, he doesn't sell the good stuff. I used to have a shrine to Fallout in the front. Power helmets, you know, Pip Boys, kit, like all kinds of stuff, right?
Like an actual Pip-Boy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Got several. And I had a little shrine in the front display case. People were fucking angry, okay? Especially rich people.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, everything's got a price. Everything's got a price. I'm like, no, you can't buy it. It's my power helmet, okay? That's a T-51, okay? It's mine. You get them online. It's expensive. Yeah, so like I always tell people, like, if it's mounted to the walls or hanging from the ceiling, it's probably not for sale. It's there to be appreciated. And it's like I have a Gears of War Lancer rifle, one of the first ones produced. And it was given to me by a friend who was passing away. And he told me, don't sell it. Leave it up there so people can appreciate it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And it's still up there to this day. You know, people are like, can I buy that? I'm like, no, you can't. And then I tell them the story.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, they're like, well, surely there's a price. I mean, what would you, if you had to sell it? I'm like, let's not talk about that.
That's kind of disrespectful at that point.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to understand that when people go shopping, okay, especially people who have money, okay, they lack a certain kind of empathy because they're not like the rest of us.
Sure.
And they covet, they must possess. And money gets them anything they want. So they don't really know how to react to that. Like, I'm supposed to just sell it to them, and they get angry.
So, my next question has actually kind of been answered directly / indirectly through some of our other questions, but here it goes anyway. So, you have a large space. Do you ever host events, video game related or not? If so, describe some of what you've done.
Okay, well, I have a whole tabletop gaming area, and because my store is large,
Yeah.
I don't have to like rearrange things too much, but we will have games and stuff over there, but I don't host tournaments anymore. I used to host tournaments. Like, I just celebrated my 20-year anniversary a while back.
Oh, wow.
But when I started over in Hopewell, I used to have video game tournaments, which I thought were a great idea, and everyone was really happy about them. But tournaments all work the same way. You have a tournament, 30, 35 people show up. They all think that they could be like Yu-Gi-Oh! And be the one, okay? You know, they might have the secret power. And there's that illusion, that hope, okay? And then there's a whole tournament. Everyone has a lot of fun, but it boils down to the last 3 people who are the best, at least right then.
Yeah.
And then you host another one, and 35 people show up. And they play, and the same 3 guys win again. And then I would host another tournament, and I get a bunch of phone calls the week before. Are those 3 guys going to be there? Are those 3 guys going to be there? I'm like, I don't know. You've been practicing. Who cares? You've gotten better. You've increased your skill. Give it a shot.
Doesn't work that way.
Well, I only charged $5 for a tournament, okay? Because it's supposed to have fun. It's local people.
Sure.
But after like 3 or 4 tournaments, it goes from having 35 people having 30, 25, 20. The same people keep winning. And so therefore success is their own worst enemy because everyone knows they can't beat them. The illusion is gone. So then people start coming up to me and asking me, hey, you should have a tournament for this obscure game that I know I'm really good at and no one else knows how to play it all, so I'll be a winner. And it's like, you know, it's very selfish and easily seen. And I'm like, yeah, sure, we could do that, probably. Try doing Halo tournaments. Halo was more fun because we could split them up into teams. We could have team play. But what happens after a couple tournaments of these games, the best players just hook up with each other. So then no one else has an opportunity to win. Every now and again when Ringer would come in. Worst tournament was Madden. I had one Madden tournament ever, okay? And it was an absolute disaster. Unlike all the other people, they came in, they got angry, they threw my controllers. You know, a couple guys almost got into a couple fights. They walked around the store and just left trash on the shelves, like their pop cans. They just leave them there. The wrappers from a candy bar, they'd stuff it under the shelf. It was like, and my whole store smelled like a gym locker, like dirty gym socks, like for 3 days afterwards. And I was spraying air freshener. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know how. Yeah, it was terrible. It was really bad. Bad. They were such poor sportsmen. So yeah, so I stopped doing tournaments.
Yeah,
because eventually what happened is people would stop showing up as they knew that they couldn't win, and that's what it is. It's the illusion, the idea of a tournament. People approach me. They're like, "Yeah, we'll have this tournament and everything. It'd be awesome." But
then
they don't win. Awesome. They don't win, and then it's not awesome for them anymore.
There can only be one. Everyone else is a loser.
Yeah.
Like the Highlander.
Yeah. Everyone else is a loser. And once the illusion is gone, like, you might actually be able to win, but then when the same people come in and win all the time, and there's no more tournament. Yeah. Guitar Hero, same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People are calling up. Are those 3 guys going to be there again? And then after the tournament, every time, they be coming in like, when's that Guitar Hero tournament? When's that Call of Duty tournament? When's that Halo tournament? I'm like, oh, it was just this last weekend. Oh, man, if I'd have been there, I'd have wiped that out. I'd have won that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, God.
I'm sure.
All the time.
All right, my last question. If you could live inside any game world, which would you choose and why?
It definitely would not be Fallout.
No.
I don't know, Skyrim maybe.
Yeah.
I don't imagine you'd choose to live in asteroids.
No, not without a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great games out there, but most games have conflict, okay? It's kind of like Star Wars. What makes it so popular is war. Humans are just a very aggressive and terrible species, and war is so exciting. That's why Call of Duty is so popular. It appeals to our worst nature. I want to be a superhuman person and go out there and kill indiscriminately because I have power. You know, it feeds the super ego. Yeah, so most games have conflict. I mean, but at least in Skyrim, I know that I could possibly be the Dragonborn. And then all those dragons and trolls and stuff like that. Like, listen, if you live in a town, they never get attacked by the monsters. Hardly ever. It's only when the dragons come around that they start attacking the villages. You know, the town guards there, they take care of them. So it's a pretty nice life. They just sit there in their shop. They open at 8 o'clock. They close at 8. They go home, stop at the pub, talk to some people randomly in the street, go to their houses, sleep, get up, repeat day after day. And it's beautiful countryside. Yeah, beautiful countryside.
You know, for some reason, I could see you living inside Harvest Moon.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure why, but something tells me you would be the Harvest Moon resident.
I've never played any of the Harvest Moons, but I am familiar with them. They're kind of a little bit like Animal Crossing as well.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Yeah, little people doing things, planting crops, selling them in town. Yeah, sounds like fun.
Although I think I'd probably end up beating the shit out of Tom Nook because everybody hates Tom Nook.
That's from Animal Crossing, right?
Correct.
Tom Nook, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
The little raccoon. He's a raccoon, right?
I think so, yes.
They did a fantasy Harvest Moon one time, didn't they? Where you raise monsters and
don't know.
Go into dungeons and harvest mushrooms and.
I couldn't tell you. That doesn't sound familiar to me. All right. And the final question of the day, which I think is going to spark a pretty interesting reaction from you. I said, or I'm asking, if a friend or a family member told you that they are about to open up a game store, what is some advice you would give them?
Oh, I would probably say don't.
Don't?
Don't.
Interesting. Why?
Don't. It's the economy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, big corporations have taken over video games.
That's
They don't
true.
want you to possess or hold anything. They want to have the model that PC gamers have had for a while and music people have for a while, a streaming service where you pay a monthly fee and additional fees. They don't want you to have and hold things. Also, big corporations don't like to take risks, so all the games are targeted towards what's going to sell. It's like, why don't we get a lot of like really cool little games here or there? Because they only sell to like 10% of the user base. But if they can sell a game, make a game that'll appeal to 90% of the installed user base, they're going to do that. They have a greater chance of making a lot more money because it's in the numbers. You could make the best, perfect game ever, but if it's only selling to 10% of the user base, you're not going to make as much money. So they want to appeal to the average man, to the most broadest spectrum. And that's, in America at least, killing people with guns as a soldier, sports ball, or killing people with guns as a criminal. Those are the ideals that everyone's trying to get. They all want to have something out there. They want a little piece of that pie. But the bigger the piece they can get. So moving forward, all of our stuff is produced in China or a third world country factory someplace, okay? And because they don't have to pay people an actual wage. Like, to pay an American worker with that, especially union wages, okay, they'd have to pay that person $30 an hour plus benefits and maybe even a pension. But they can do that in a third world country. So whenever I need to get controllers or accessories or anything for video games, I have to contact a big American business and buy this $10 thing they paid $3 for in this third world country, had shipped over. They have it in their warehouse here in the United States, and they ship it to me. So I buy a $10 widget, okay? It's $10. I sell it for $15. I pay shipping, comes out of that $5 profit. So now I'm making $3 profit. Then I go online, which has completely changed the dynamic. Like, brick and mortar stores are going to be shutting down all across the country because they want to ship directly to you. Big corporations control that, okay? You just can't do it. You can't do it yourself. And you go online, and they're selling that widget that I bought from them for 10, and I have to sell for 15. They're selling it for 12 online, direct to the consumer. So they control the market. They control access to the products. So moving forward, all new games, good luck. If they even make a physical printing of it,
Right.
physical printing is incomplete, and it's only part of the game. And it's only going to work on that game system until they shut off service to them. Once they no longer carry service for it, all your games aren't going to work. So only old retro games will have any real collector's value in the future, because even though there's emulators out there, and a lot of stuff, though, Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, or 32X are notoriously difficult to program emulators for, and not everything runs 100% on those.
No.
It might never. Everything works better on the original hardware. Only retro games. But the thing is like the kids are only seeing in the marketing the new stuff, like Fortnite. They direct market directly to them, and they want to digitally transfer to you. So as time goes on, the retro games are going to be the collectibles that have intrinsic value due to the fact that they are complete. And anything post PS3, Xbox 360, you're only having it for a little while, and they're going to phase out physical games entirely. So what are you going to sell? What are you going to sell in your game store?
Digital
If you could
codes.
just do retro, the thing is that the people like retro are old. They were there at the beginning. They played on Nintendo when they were younger. A Sega Genesis, a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2. They have those. Eventually, we buy everything we want, and that's in private collections, which is going to be great in the future, okay?
Sure.
They're tangible, physical things that have real value. Sure, you could get a digital copy of it and download it through your new system and play it in your super 8K television, but it's still not going to be the same.
You're right.
So moving forward to the future, only retro games will have value, but when you listen, I get 10 people a day ask me if I have Pokemon. I'm sorry, I don't have Pokemon. I mean, I've got a couple Pokemons, but no, I'm sorry, I don't have any Game Boy Advance Pokemons. They don't come in, so you got a large demand with no supply because no one wants to let them go.
I mean, eventually, like, people like us, which to your point, we're like, oh, all the people who are into retro are older, like us. and eventually the interest is going to die out. Like, let's use Atari 2600 for an example.
Mm-hmm.
That system is, with exception, of course, because every console has its games that are worth unobtainable amounts of money.
Yeah.
But their Atari 2600 is stupidly cheap to collect for because nobody wants it anymore, because all the people that want it, by this point,
They have it. Yeah. That's one of the things, like, you know, in 20 years of business, I've watched, like, have a lot of customers, then those customers grow up, and the parents no longer need to buy games to them, and they no longer want to buy games because they're just playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Fortnite, I can't sell Fortnite. Minecraft, I can't sell Minecraft. I can't sell digital content. Only the big businesses directly through console can sell those products to people, and that's by design.
Sure.
So opening up a game store in the future, you're going to be buying controllers and accessories, and it's been like this for 20 years. You don't make any money on those. That's just to get them in there. So you are supposed to take a loss on it. For example, $60 games, okay, during the PS3 and 360 era, cost me $55. Like $5. I had to pay shipping out of that. Now, I'm not supposed to make money on that, but that's supposed to bring in the pre-owned games in which I can buy them and I can sell those. I can make some money on those.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to take a loss on it. This is literally how the distributors told me, like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. Controllers, $5 less. Meanwhile, Walmart gets them for $15 less. Because they're a big corporation, they get a better deal. They're buying in bulk. Mm. So then they come out and they're selling these $60 games for $50. And that's twofold.
Yeah.
One, 90% of all GameStop, something like that, are in Walmart plazas.
Oh.
And they wanted that business. Walmart was actually trying to do something about 8 years ago where they would take in used games. Yeah, they wanted to put the GameStops out of business. So that's why a $60 game would be $55 there or $50. Because they're getting it for way cheaper than even GameStop can get it. And then GameStop's not getting that business. And then they look at that as like, well, we're Walmart. We can do video games.
Which is funny because Walmart, Target, and all the other big box stores,
yeah,
they're transitioning away from all that now.
Well, that's because they're not making things
correct
physical as much. They don't want you to have physical. They're trying to wean the public off it, so just accept the streaming service.
I'm always going to be ride or die with physical.
Well, unfortunately, that's not an option any longer. Since the end of the 360 and PS3 era, we have not received complete games. Very rarely. Most of them require a patch or update or a download from the service in order to be full and complete, and then it requires patches all the time.
And, you know, if you know your way around the internet, you can finagle that. But let's be real, that's a really small percentage of people that can do that. Not the everyday man who just wants to throw their disc in there and be like, oh, what do you mean? I don't have this gun because it wasn't patched in yet. So
it's not as prevalent in Japan. Japan's more like, we want physical things.
Yeah, they're definitely more on that
We're
front.
putting it on the shelf, yeah. So they get more physical releases than we do. And that's because it's very transactional. People are like, hey,
sure.
I just want to play it. I don't want to collect it. But most people play the same boring ass shit. Oops, sorry. As everyone
That's all
else.
right.
And it's called, killing people with guns, a soldier, sports ball. These things come out every year. So they buy them in huge quantities. They dump them all at the same time. So they don't get anything for their games. So to them, the games are worthless after a while. Because I'm not going to go back and play last year's game.
Right.
No, this is a new one now. It's way better. And they sit there and they complain. Because they changed something. So I wouldn't say open up a game store. Yeah, I wouldn't.
And that's kind of sad that we're at that point, but that's just the realistic nature.
Well, the nature is the consolidation of power
Sure.
and big business in our industry. Because for everything we gain, we lose something. And one thing we lose is actually possessing our own stuff and having something like, you have a game, physical game, you can trade it, you can sell it, you can lend it out, okay? You can borrow it. But with a digital one, it's trapped in that system.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get it off, and it's not even yours. Look at Godzilla and Deadpool. Yeah, they took them off the service. Now the physical copies are going for a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah, Godzilla goes for PS4 like $200 something. Deadpool's going for like $100 because everyone's
they're
like
just art pieces at that point.
Yeah, well, they took them off the server, so the only remaining copies are the low physical ones.
Yeah.
But they don't want to print physical copies. In fact, they've been cutting back production of physical copies to force people to buy the digital ones. Like,
Yeah.
if you pre-order it with a reputable business, okay, a large business, okay, because they pulled pre-orders for me. I had to stop taking pre-orders for video games because I would place an order for like 10. I'd put a pre-order in, and then the day would come for them to ship it out, and they're like, yeah, we didn't get it. We didn't get enough pre-orders of that, so we just didn't get it. I'm like, what the? Now I have to go run around and buy it from a competitor at full price and not make any money, lose money.
Yep.
And
Yes,
time.
because you're honoring your part of it.
And then they would hold things back, like Pokemon. They'd hold Pokemon back for me. I haven't sold a brand new Pokemon in like 8 years. They literally hold them back so that I can't get them on street date and actually get them late.
And I'd like to imagine it's not because you don't want to, it's just you can't.
Can't. No, I can't. No, they prioritize those big businesses. Good guy Nintendo, not as good of a guy as you may think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
they hold them back.
Would you have anything you would like to ask us?
Aren't those masks hot?
A little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hot, but the temperature's up.
I was actually thinking like, wow, maybe I should have wore a mask. But I don't have any cow masks. I have like Halloween masks.
All right. Well, then I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap this
Yeah.
up.
Well, thank you very
Good
much,
times.
gentlemen. I hope that was it was good. It was good for you.
Oh, absolutely. It was entertaining as heck. So we want to thank you for doing this for us, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, mad cows.
All right. Mad Cow out. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to be a part of the herd, make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications. That way you'll never miss an upload. And most importantly, long live gaming.